Oh, I thought I was testing. Hi, hey travelers, how are you? I'm going to do today a short full moon in Pisces. This will be a relationship and romance reading, okay? And for those of you who've never seen a romance and or relationship, I'm going to say off the bat that it may not resonate with you. Anytime you want to know what's going on with yourself, it's always best to purchase a personal reading. But for some of you, you may not be in a space where you're ready for romance yet. You still have relationships, friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances. And so that's why I call it the romance and relationship reading, okay? I can guarantee you that there's going to be perhaps something in here that will resonate with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can go to my website, and that little eye is going to show up. I gotta always right there in the right hand corner. If you click on that eye there, it should take you directly over to my website. Go to tarot consultations on the main menu, and I have several reading packages there. My turnaround time is between 24 to 72 hours. Occasionally it will extend out to maybe a week, but normally it's 24 to 72 hours. I don't like for people to wait. I know there's some readers that they say they're booked out for months. By the time you get your reading, situation and change, and you didn't get a chance to know what you wanted to know. So I'm going to be using today the Impressionist Tarot. I haven't used these in a while. I really like these cards. We'll be clarifying with La Vida Sibila, and we will pull a romance angel card to wrap the reading up. Let me close my door. Our new puppy, Johann Spanky von Hund, is crying. I'm crate training him at the moment. My daughter just got up. So just let me close the door to my office. 1 second. Alright, that didn't take long. Also, before I actually get started, I wanted to share some things with you, personal things. We are coming up on a Mercury retrograde. This is first. On, I want to say the 27th of September. We have the pre-retrograde shadow phase. In other words, things start to slow down before, about a week or two before the planet actually stations retrograde. And then it's in retrograde for 3 weeks until approximately October 17th. And then it'll move direct again, and then we're in the post-shadow retrograde phase. And that's another 2 weeks on the other side. So you're really looking at about 6 weeks, 7 weeks of things kind of going wonky. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I am a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon. So I am heavily influenced by Mercury. Those of you who have been with me for a while know that I tend to clam up and disappear off the scene because I really just at that particular point don't have anything to say. Typically what happens during a Mercury retrograde is that I will go back to projects that I've been working on previously and didn't get a chance to finish, or trying to tweak it up. So I will be working some more on the classes for the website. There are 2 new articles posted up. I didn't realize until today that there's no information on the right hand side of the main page to show you when I've been posting up new articles. They changed the format for the widgets, and then I had to go back, so I've added those in today. The personal thing that I wanted to share with you is that I've been going through somewhat of a difficult time. I think I've never shared this with you guys, and I just recently, perhaps a couple of years ago, came to grips with it. As you probably know, I was in the military, and when I went in, I was 19. And it was in the 80s. And the truth of the matter is that women hadn't been in the military that long, and there were still men there who felt as though women did not belong. I was raped in the military, and it has caused me lots and lots of problems throughout my life. Lots of problems. and I finally have kind of gotten to a place, at least I thought I did, where, you know, I've accepted it, but, you know, it's still something that, well, the story is that I was in the grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and a gentleman standing behind me triggered me. I didn't realize I had PTSD. And so this is why you didn't hear from me last week for the card of the week and the weekly mini cross reading. I really have been struggling. I was very, very depressed, angry, not sleeping, and so I'm kind of trying to regather myself. In this instance, work can save me, but I wanted to share that with you guys so you'll know, you know, why I've been a bit erratic lately in terms of producing the work. This is something that, you know, I'll live with the rest of my life, and you know, I've determined that I will not allow it to rule my life and take over my life. But it's just every once in a while, you know, something may occur and it kind of triggers me. That's what PTS, flashbacks, anxiety, anger, fear, all of those emotions that go with the memory. And for me, it was the sound of this gentleman's voice and the cologne that he was wearing. And he was standing awfully close to me. And that really, really just unexpectedly kind of threw me for a loop. And so that's where I am. I'm trying to regain my balance. And so this is why whenever I do readings and I try to tell you guys, you know, that you're not alone in your situations. You know, people experience things. It's just the nature of life. And so you can sometimes feel as though you are all alone, nobody understands, or you can't talk to anybody about it. And this is why I always advocate speaking about your experiences and understanding that you are not alone, and understanding that things that happen to us are experiences and they are moments. You know, and you know, you try to do the best that you can because that's all you can do. And so I wanted to share that with you, you guys. I've been on here 7 years and I've never told that story to you guys, and I really had never told the story to anyone until a few years ago. And so that's it. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and get started with the reading. Okay, so if I seem a little off, this is the reason why. All right. As I explained, we'll be using the Impressionist Tarot. We'll be clarifying with Levita Sibila, and then we will wrap the reading up with the romance and with the Romance Angel card. So I've already done some shuffling and meditation on this. This is a full moon in Pisces. I just posted a new moon report over on the website, and I tell you, according to your sun sign, where this full moon is going to fall. Full moons are always intense times. If there's any decisions that need to be made, it may be best to wait until after the full moon, a few days after, a few days before, or just to hold off, you know, until you can get more and gain more clarity on the situation. In the sign of Pisces, this is Pisces rules your 12th house. So this is psychological issues. This is things that make you fearful. For me, this is happening across my 7th house because I am a Virgo. And so this is all about relationships. This is about legalities. It is about open enemies. It is about, you know, when I say partnerships, I don't mean necessarily marriages or partners in that sense, but this could be business partners, those types of things. So knowing where the full moon will fall for you in your chart is really important, because, and you know, and you may not have anything going on at all, in which case you don't have to worry about it. But it is, you know, I think of Virgo as, in a general sense, an opportunity to take care of your physical body, and Pisces is an opportunity to take care of your psychological, your mental, and your spiritual body. Okay, and so, you know, if this is happening across your seventh house, I mean your second house, this could be what is your could be an opportunity for you to heal your mental and psychological relationship with your finances, or to heal and take care of the physical sense. In other words, what are you actually spending your money on? Those types of things. So I think this is a really, I think this is going to be leading up to some changes, not only worldwide, so to speak, but this will affect you generally. It will trickle down. This Mercury retrograde that we're having will be opposing Pluto, and 3 times by the end of 2020 into 2022. And so that's always a very, very powerful aspect. I also put that in the moon report as well, so you can read about it. So with that being said, just keep that in mind. So with that, it's squaring. I'm sorry, it's not opposing, it's going to be squaring. And squaring is a tense energy. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, and we're going to lay the cards, and that's that. Okay, I know that was a long intro, but I think you guys, I needed to give you guys some information here. Okay, here we go. I don't know why Spanky von Hund, Johann von Hund. Oh. You guys, all the cards just flew out of my hand. Hold on. Oh, that's funny. It is funny. Okay. Now, I've never seen a little puppy use the bathroom as much as Johann. It's amazing, actually. Okay. Get this together. I'm a little off today. I'm going to try to get out today in my garden and plant some seedlings for some fall veg and some flowers. That will help me a lot. Here we go. Knight of Pentacles. 6 of Swords. Hannah? One second. Something's happening. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I heard somebody in the kitchen. My cat has thumbs. It's actually my daughter making herself something to eat. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles, 6 of Swords. Wow. Ace of Cups. That's interesting. 8 of Swords. 4 of Swords. Wow. 7 of Cups. Well, there's our full moon in Pisces, our Neptunian energy. And while Neptunian energy can be great, that kind of tune in, tune out, drop out kind of a thing. You know, turn on, tune in and drop out kind of an energy. It can be a very, very difficult energy to deal with. Queen of Wands. So for some of you, if you are a fire sign individual, Aries, Leo, and or Sagittarius, this reading could be for you. But also if you are, you know, all about your career right now or your business or whatever, she's known as the entrepreneurial queen. 6 of Cups. Wow. And the Chariot. So on this last row here, I have 2 sevens. What is the overall energy? It is the 6 of Wands. The card about leadership. So in the actual spread itself, I have 2 sixes. I have 2 sevens. I have 2 court cards. I have 1 pentacle, 1, 2, 3 swords, 1, 2, 3 cups, and a major arcana card. So it is, what do you call it? It's significant when there are repeater numbers, okay, and there are messages contained within. So we're going to start with those. Here, I've got a lot of work to get done, you guys. And our repeater numbers are the dual sixes. Now, if I want to count that third 6 in there, I can do that. But 2 sixes tells of justifiable faith and trust in your partner. 3 sixes can tell of an exciting romance or imply that there are romantic times ahead. Okay, 1, 2, 6, a sword and a cup. Over here with the 6 of wands. And then I have the 2 sevens. Okay, now 2 sevens warn of false friends, and I'm gonna, there we go. 2 sevens are they warn of false friends. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure if this Queen of Wands is someone that might, because I have this idea somewhat of 3. There could be a third party here that the cards are not necessarily speaking about. So this false friend could be this Queen of Wands, or it could be telling you that the situation in which you may find yourself in contains, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. So this is about paying close attention. All right. Now, what I'm picking up, for me, knights represent news and messages, but they also represent an event. And so if there's been a situation that's been stagnant, knights show up to kind of move the situation along. This is a slow moving kind of a thing. It's a pentacle. It's an earth sign, so that's rather slow kind of an energy. I've seen this show up when it speaks about financial news coming. He's usually always good news, okay? But here with the 6 of Swords, this we see this boat there in the corner that's kind of sunk in the water. It's, half in, half out of the water, right? And we know that normally the 6 of Swords is about moving from rough waters to smoother waters. It can sometimes be about taking time out to gather your mental thoughts, your mental energy, to rest and relax. It can be sometimes about traveling by water, around water, near water, over water. We see this Ace of Cups, which is a new beginning, a new emotional beginning. Does that make any sense? It doesn't necessarily always mean, it can contain the promise of a new romance or relationship. Doesn't mean it's going to go through. Okay, it just says there's an opportunity there. But what we see is this idea of this 8 of Swords. Let me show you this card. She's standing with her hands behind her back, 8 swords at her feet, right? This windmill in the back always brings to mind the Netherlands or the Dutch, and the term sabot. There was a time when the peasants were doing all the work and they weren't getting good pay, they weren't being respected, so they took off their shoes, their wooden shoes, these sabots, and they threw them into the wheels of the mill houses, of the windmills, right? And clogged them up and broke them. Hence the term sabotage. So this card can be about the idea of self-sabotaging yourself based upon the way that you think. If this is a situation in which you're not certain about, or something is not right for you, right? So the question becomes, is it exactly what I think it is, or is it something else? Particularly with this 7 of Cups card here. But it also says, if you find yourself in a situation, how do you get yourself out? Right now, you're thinking that you cannot get yourself out of this, when in fact you can. This is based upon your thoughts. And whatever the situation is, it is the idea that maybe sometimes we create those situations for ourselves. The self-sabotage. Here with the 4 of Wands, and I want to read the meaning of, because it's right in the center And so therefore, this is really what is happening at the moment, or what is surrounding us. And the Four of Swords says, you are being offered a respite from the demands and pressures of the outside world, and your friends are there to support you. So we get the idea of rest, relaxation, respite, and leisure. Okay? But here with this Seven of Cups, the Seven of Cups is always an interesting card. Traditionally, it's looked at the card of fantasies, illusions, delusions, travel in the mind, so to speak. The Seven of Cups says, while dreams have their place, at some point you will need to face reality and set a course for the future. If you are unable to make a choice, time may make the decision for you. The key words are fantasies, visions, imagination, and revelation. Now, this definitely, to me, has this idea of some distance between you and someone that you know. It could be someone from your childhood. It could be an old lover, even an old friend that returns from the past. Could be this one. It may be this knight here, this earth sign, perhaps male individual. And this will stand true whether you are, this is same-sex or heterosexual, okay? Whomever is going to take the role of the female, whomever is going to take the role of the male. This Queen of Wands, though, I think is quite an interesting card, because she says, you can be bold or even downright brazen. Do not shy away from competition. Pursue your heart's desire. Move quickly and strike while the iron is hot. The card represents passion, sex appeal, drama, and intrigue. That's interesting. I like that. Here with this Six of Cups, it's about nostalgia. Not only for childhood, but also for the carefree days of youth and innocence. You may soon reconnect with brothers, sisters, or childhood friends. But the Chariot card, our major arcana card, a 7. And I think what's interesting about 7s is that 7s represent a moment of doubt, self-questioning, sometimes even hesitancy. That's never a bad thing. I mean, you do want to take your time and try to make the best decision that you can for yourself, but can also represent a kind of a fear and or stagnancy, because the Chariot card says, look for new horizons. You can go anywhere and do anything if you have the courage of your convictions. Do not take no for an answer. And if you are unable to get through an obstacle, you need to go around it. You know that old saying that I tell you, there's more than one way to skin a cat? The opportunity, but we're fearful to move. There's some kind of, if not oppositional block from another person, then this could be about your own mental thoughts blocking you. And this card is saying to you, you know what, you can do whatever you want to do. You're going to have to redress the way that you are thinking. There are friends there to support you. You know, dreams and fantasies are okay, but you also need to ground it and actually do something. So gather up your passion, your focus, and your desire. Okay, reach out to other people, or maybe somebody new's coming into your life. There's this idea of travel here. I get the sense that some of you may be traveling, or maybe that you will cross paths, that's the word, with someone. This Six of Wands, it says you will soon be recognized for a job well done. News of your achievement will spread and you will be heralded as a hero. So conquest, triumph, achievement, and accomplishment. So again, if this is about relationships in terms of working, you know, this could be the idea that maybe there's someone around you in your environment that might be blocking you. Remember, we're talking about the 2 7s and the false friends. So particularly under a Mercury retrograde, I would advise that whatever ideas that you have, keep yourself to yourself. But Don't allow that opposition, to prevent you from moving forward with whatever it is that you are trying to do. I want to quickly discard, because the Knight is telling me something. And what is he telling me? It represents someone who is steadfast and true, loyal to your cause, committed to your mission. The key words are solid, useful, responsible, practical, and grounded. So if this doesn't necessarily represent someone coming in, okay, who can, quote unquote, help make all your dreams come true, be cautious, because it may be too good to be true. Does that make any sense? So I want to take a look at the two cards that stand out to the most, because on the one hand, this can be about you taking control of a situation, but it could also be this idea of someone that you don't see their true nature. All right, that false friend. So, first card I'm going to look at is the Six of Swords. This could even be, I will tell you, it has been my experience that under Mercury retrogrades, old lovers, attempted lovers, old relationships come back around. Okay? Now, the warning is that you are free to engage, re-engage if you so choose. But 9 times out of 10, as soon as the Mercury retrograde is over, the person vanishes into thin air. So again, this is about being practical, being grounded, being realistic, and taking control over yourself and the situation, at least in terms of your behavior, your thoughts, your speech, and your actions. Make sense? Okay, here we go. Eight of Swords, the dilettanti. Again, this thing of 3 keeps coming up, this plurality. There's a group here, yes? Disgrazia. Well, that's not good. And the Ammalato. Let me read you the meaning of this Eight of Swords. Quite interesting. This is about being influenced, outside influences, other people, and it's going up in flames. And now you are sad, you are depressed, you don't know what to do or how to get yourself out of this situation. This Eight of Swords says you might be able to heal the situation during this full moon. This Eight of Swords says you need to find a way to free yourself from the bonds of entrapment. Cut ties, slip out the back door, and try not to fall into the same trap again. The key words are bondage, entrapment, imprisonment, and victimization. This is about returning to feeling like you were before, yourself. Okay? This card can also speak to the idea of being surrounded by a group of people who, for lack of a better term, can lead you astray in some way. And indeed, for someone out there, this has happened and it has completely blown up. There's humiliation, there's tears, there's distress, there is things collapsing. This is like the Tower card in the regular tarot. And it's here with the Ammalato, which is another Four of Swords, by the way. This is really about looking at how you've been spending your energy and recuperating from this so that you can regain your sense of self. Can y'all hear that noise? That's my cat in the closet. Okay, so what I want to look at now, I'm going to take a look at this Seven of Cups. You know, this is the idea that, and this is, for me, this card is speaking about the idea of being a leader and or a cheerleader. Sometimes we don't have people to support us and cheerlead us through things. This is about being, you know, your own thing, a job well done, and acknowledging that whatever this situation is, if you remain focused, you balance out the nature of it. Maybe it is about wishing things could go back to the way they were before, but we know that's not necessarily true, right? And what we have to do is figure out a way to balance those energies. Try not to, what's the word? be bitter and or remorseful so that we can move forward. Sometimes that is easier said than done. Yes. 6, 7 of the Viaggio, trip or visit. Allegrezza al cuore. Again, there's this thing of 3. And the letter. Remember that message that I told you about? This is quite interesting. What I'm looking at is a situation in which it was a relationship that went, or romance that went completely, and you've been doing okay up until that point, and now the person comes. You get news. The person is coming back. For some of you, you're happy about this, right? Okay. This is a celebration. Maybe you've been waiting for this person to come back. Sometimes this card can be the idea of your own delusions and your own, maybe you sank into, I don't know, drinking or drugs or something like that to try to escape the pain of whatever the situation was. You know, but it looks as though, you know, you've been doing okay, or at least you have the possibility to do okay. This is news. And secondarily, this may be news or an invitation to attend some type of wedding or event and going on a trip. Remember I said there's this indication of travel here, all right? I think what's interesting is that the Viaggio is faced this way, back towards the past. So this could be the idea of an opportunity to revisit the past, okay? Metaphorically speaking. Let's pull a Romance Angel card. I don't see anything necessarily to be worried about. Again, it's about taking control, being bold, being brave. Oh, well, that card just threw itself out of the deck. Now, I always like to warn people about this card. Okay? Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. I warn people about the term soulmate. Most people believe that the soulmate is somebody that you have the perfect relationship with or what have you. When in fact, soulmate relationships can be the most painful, the most intense, the most dysfunctional relationships you will ever have in your life. And the reason being is because that person, that other person has come into your life to show you and teach you things about yourself. If the person made you feel horrible, if they were an alcoholic, if they were a drug addict, or they drove you to that, then the question becomes, then what is it about that person or that situation that affected me in that manner? Where am I lacking? What work do I need to do on myself? It is never about the other person. It is always about you. And so what I like to tell you guys all the time, and you've heard it before, I'll say it again, the most important person in any relationship is yourself. And that is not a selfish thing. Okay? You have to be in the right space mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually in order to have right if you are in right relationship with yourself, then you will have right relationships with others, and you will find that you are not in relationships with people who waste your time, who lie, who deceive, who, whatever the case may be, manipulate, abuse, those types of things, okay? So and maybe for some of you, this is a soul lesson, an evolutionary soul lesson. So calling in this soulmate, you may be going through some stuff with this person, okay, coming up. Remember, it is about you. It is not about them. They've come as a mirror to show you the weaknesses in yourself that you need to see so that you can work and fix it, okay? Here we go. The card says, you chose this card because you wonder if a person is your soulmate, and the answer is yes. As we all do, you will have many soulmates, beings with whom you share a mystical soul connection and life path. Soulmates incarnate with the plan of coming together for mutual spiritual and personal growth. As you suspected, the person you're inquiring about is one of yours. The sense of familiarity and comfort you felt when you first met also indicates your soulmate bond. This card can sometimes come to those who ask, when will I meet my soulmate? Or will I ever meet my soulmate? And this card shows up as validation that this will occur. Many times, this is a person whom you already know. And although romantic sparks didn't fly at first, you may have another opportunity to explore passion together. Okay? But again, I give you that warning. I would be remiss in just letting you think you guys are going to sail off into the... For some of you, this may be true. For others of you, it will not. It depends on, what you got going on in your life and the actual individual who shows up. And so, we are getting that indication that there could be a fake friend there. So again, this is about being grounded and understanding what you really want, right? And what you will and you will not put up with. And so that's what I have for you. Long reading, but that's to make up for last week. I do hope that helped. And until next time, be well, stay safe, and namaste.